Record on this country. Welcome everybody to this wonderful course called the Tarot Experience by Chayan Jain. I am delighted to welcome all of you to this course. And it'll be a 10 days course based on practice, learning. And it is nice to see that some of you have worked with me in different groups. There are some people who were my students. There were some people who were working with me for their rituals. There was one lady who is actually my teacher's wife. And Estrella is one of my favorite people who comes to my lives, and she asks questions, and she's been my client also. So today she's taking a leap of faith where she's going to start learning tarot by herself. Okay, so let's get started with okay, who's alphabetically first? Devendraji is first after me. So Devendraji, it's your time to introduce yourself, and let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Devendra Sarkar and I live in Mumbai, India, and I work in the film industry as a data manager, and I am interested in the occult science. So Chayanji is a pathway for me right now to get into the field, and he is a very good guide.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Estella, it's your turn. Take over. All yours.
Hi, I'm Estella. I'm from Texas and it's getting cold over here. I don't know if y'all are cold. I'm a single mother. I'm very spiritual. I'm the type of person that when I want to learn something, I want to learn by someone I'm drawn to. And I was drawn to Cheyenne.
Thank you.
So there you go.
Okay, we will move on to Savitaji, Savvy JD Somani. Savitaji, please turn on your mic.
Okay, hello everyone, and I'm Savvy JD Somani of Savita Somani, and I was a student of Chayan in runes classes. Basically, I'm a very spiritual person with a spiritual heart, and I always like to learn every year something new. And tarot is not new to me, but I always visit Chayan live. I have always questions for him on live classes. That's why I thought that I must this year, with this new year, I should go something new. And I found good teacher in Chayan. That's why I wanted to do tarot with him.
Thank you so
much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Shwetaji, just a minute of introduction. Please turn on your microphone.
Hi everyone, my name is Shweta and I'm a Reiki healer and I have done many courses in occult science and I'm really very interested in occult. I will not say I'm a very spiritual person, but yes, I am. I don't do everyday puja part, but yes, apart from that, I'm a very kind-hearted person and I just love to learn tarot from Chayan.
Thank you so much.
As he already told that he's my husband's student, but right now I am his student. So thank you so much, sir.
Most welcome, most welcome. Okay, so thank you so much everybody for joining in. Let's start with the course now. Okay, so we will learn tarot, learning tarot the easy way, or as I said, the tarot experience. How many of you have had a tarot experience in the sense that you have started reading or learning? Come on. I need to know how many people have. Okay, Devendraji has done that. Estella has done that to some extent. Okay. Who else? Savitaji is also introduced. And I guess Shwetaji was also learning from me. So she has some clue about what was going on in tarot, right? Right, Shwetaji? Yeah, she's raised a hand. Okay, tell me.
Yes, right.
Okay. Let's get started. Okay, what are tarot cards? Tarot cards are basically 78 different cards which are used for divination. Now, these cards come with images. These cards come with messages. These cards represent something. And how will they tell us something or guide us? Now, these are just random cards in my hand. Random cards. What do these cards mean? Nothing. Till the time I look at their images, till the time I make inferences, till the time I learn what the person who's the artist trying to say something, I cannot make a prediction or an understanding. Right, Estella? I require some regular nods from you guys. Nobody is going to be sleepy in my class. Responsive students only. Okay. So yes. Now, what do tarot cards do? They guide us by giving us a direction of our life. Now, for example, Devendraji gives me a buzz and says, Chayanji, I am supposed to look for a job. And can you please tell me when will I find a job, or what kind of a job should I look for? These are the three options that I have. I can give him a direction in his life. So and so is the right time for your job. So and so kind of a job you can take up. You should do a business or a job. I can give him a direction. Now, this direction will be totally based on the energies that are prevailing between the two of us. Today, I am going to give you the Guru Mantra. The Guru Mantra is for any kind of a tarot reading. Very carefully listen. For any kind of a tarot reading, three things are very important. First of all, as a reader, you should be in a balanced state of mind. It should not be that you're worried about something, you're worried about your bills, you're worried about a child, you're worried about going to the washroom, you're worried about the food on the kitchen, nothing. You're just totally calm. Similarly, the person you're reading for should be completely calm. Why? Because if that person is hurrying or this person is crying, it will affect you also and it will affect the reading also. Is that clear? And what could be the third place or the third thing? The environment of the entire reading should be very calm. It should not be that you're reading in a moving bus or a moving train. Now, because the rail tracks are doing guch, and you're like, I'm trying to read tarot. I'm like, totally no concentration, nothing happening, and the tarot reading goes for a toss. Next, tarot can also tell us about the lessons to be learned. Now, the major arcana in tarot, when we talk about it, we'll talk about the 22 life lessons. Until and unless you learn a lesson, things keep on repeating. Now, you must be having patterns in your life which keep on repeating. Estella, any pattern that repeats in your life?
A karmic partner.
A karmic partner. So you basically get partners who are very karmic and, they may be disturbing, emotionally involving, and then they're going. That kind of a cycle repeats itself. Till the time you learn a lesson that, take them lightly. Take them as passing butterflies. So once you're not attached to them, you move on and you become very strong. That's what happens. Next, tarot cards sometimes contain deep truths. Yes, Devendraji? Noticed deep truths come out from tarot. Sometimes when you ask questions about somebody whom you are not in touch with or whom you're trying to know about a little bit, you get to know of something which is deep truth. Next, the basis of life experience is tarot. Why? When you experience something, you get a certain form of energy, some kind of an experience, some kind of a learning. And that is also reflected in the tarot. Because what is tarot doing is, tarot is guiding you in the future. This can happen. This could be the situation which will come in the future. You experience your life. You live your life. And Savitaji, what happens? Your life becomes an experience when you notice what I read for you came out to be true. True or false?
True.
Okay. Let's talk about a short history of tarot. Now, the origin of tarot is very scarce. You cannot trace when it actually started. When I talked about runes in my other course, they were basically stones with symbols. Okay. Runes are basically crystals with symbols. Now, these symbols have specific meanings. And as we go to early men did not have a language to communicate. Right, Estella? So they used to have symbols. Must have heard about Egyptian symbols, those, pyramids having symbols and all of that. So they used to communicate through symbols. Slowly, as we progressed, we went into symbols to pictures, signs. So the oldest tarot deck was actually found in Italy about 1430 after Christ. Okay. That is not very far off from now. We're just in 2022, minus 1430, not many years, just a few hundred years. Now, the Swiss regulation or the Switzerland people actually say that they were found in 1367, which is another 50 years ahead, almost 100 years ahead. Florence again says that it was found in 1376. Now, you don't have to learn these dates. I am not going to take a paper on this, mark one of these. The MCQs won't be there for you guys. You don't have to worry because I can see the blank stares on your face. Why are these dates on the paper? why are we learning it? So because I also personally do not like history too much, but then yes, we need to know that this is a very old thing. Some say it was developed in Egypt, some say Kabbalah, some say they were made by the Arab mystics. So if you go around the world, everybody wants to know their future. Everybody wants to have a divination form. And they tried their best to form a version of finding out something, and it could be called tarot. They have developed in a very strong manner a period of a very long time. Now, if I tell you, initially the tarot decks were not actually decks. How many of you know that you can read tarot through playing cards?
I have heard that, but I don't have any experience about that.
That's the field called cartomancy. This is the initiation of tarot. Now, what happened once those 56 cards developed, another 22 cards were developed. And then what they did was they made symbols, pictures, and Rider Waite was the person who actually made this deck, which we study today. Another deck of tarot you might have heard about is the Osho Zen Tarot. How many people have heard about it?
Yes, I have heard that.
Yes.
That's a completely different deck. But however, what happens is when that deck happened, it had parallel meanings to this one, but not exactly the same. It was given by Rajneesh Osho, which is completely different and not a part of our course. But still, you must know there would be some people in the market, there would be some people whom you would interact with who will be reading Osho Zen, which is a different deck. So don't confuse yourself and don't say in the market Chayan fooled us and did not teach us tarot. You can just simply say we were reading Rider Waite, okay? Which is the most common one. Okay, we're done with the history. Boring part has gone from the course. What can tarot tell you? Tarot can give you knowledge on life lessons. How can you proceed in your life? What can you learn from a situation? Now, let us suppose Devendraji encounters a new job and he goes for a certain job and he's like, I had a good interview, but then I don't know why didn't they select me? And he comes to me and that, Chayanji, please open my cards. I had a wonderful interview. Why wasn't I selected? I was 100% sure. And then I take out my cards. Okay. When I take out my cards, I get different messages for him and I give him those messages and he has a lesson to learn. He says, oh my God, I got just so excited in the entire process. I opened my own secrets to them, which I shouldn't have. Devendraji, this is just an example. Okay, I'm making you a bakra in the class. So you're the victim of my agony today. Okay, next is spiritual lessons. Now, not all messages are connected with love or say your finance or relationships. Now, most of the clients will actually come for this only, but then there are spiritual lessons also to be learned. How? Estella must be knowing that Estella has been, having a spiritual progress and she's been working on it. So you must be knowing by now how meditation works, how different things have to work, how quantum shifts take place, how energies change, how sometimes you feel extremely low and dead, and how at the other point you're almost feeling like screaming at the top of your voice when there's a full moon. True?
Yes, true.
Next, information on events and situations. Now, today I'll give you an example. Hina Panchal was one of the students who was supposed to join the course today, but she said that, maybe I'll join the next batch. So I was like, okay, I was very active and, she was there on one of the groups and she was live there. I said, Hina ji, tell me one thing. How will my tarot course go? I'm supposed to start off a tarot course today. Even I am nervous. And she was like, Chayan, you don't have to worry. I'm taking out the cards. And she took out 4 cards and she was like, I've got the 9 of Pentacles. I've got this, I've got that. I was like, okay. I was patiently listening like a, small child. And I was like, so happy when the reading came out so positive for me. I was like, okay, so this is something I am going to look forward to. Next, information on matter like job, love, marriage, etc. A lot of people will come to you talking about their marriages, their jobs, their loves, their exes. Savita ji has already had an experience of all of that trauma, haven't you?
Yes.
And Estella, you must have also seen on my lives how people come talking about their love life and their, will my ex come back? How will I treat my child? How will this happen? How will that happen? All of that happens on the lives, right?
Yes.
But sometimes questions are very weird.
Yeah, they are weird. You can get the weirdest of questions. See, I get a lot of women who come with, extramarital affairs to me and they ask me, will this relationship work? I said, yeah,
yes.
definitely. I said, definitely.
Yes. I have also been victim of that. I said, really? Are you using your sense or the card? I don't know. The card should reply or the sense should reply to her again. I don't know.
It's as if, they want God to give an answer to what they want or they want to listen. Now
No, they are computer.
I have
They
to
are
give,
computer. They should be trained with the keypads. That is.
yes, I have to give a very small warning to all of you now. Now, since you're entering this world of tarot, be prepared that there will be some insects on your lives or insects who will be coming to you only to listen what they want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
They will not care about what your cards say. They will not care about what you feel. They will
Right.
only want you to say what is going on in their head. Now, for
Yes,
example,
true.
ladies come to you and they will simply say, I'm having an extramarital affair. Will this relationship work or not? And when the cards say, no, it will not work out, they will be furious at you as if you have done a crime, not them.
True.
They will literally want to kill you. They will defame you. They will write negative reviews about you. But it is you who has to maintain your cool and calm and not react to all of that nonsense. Now, you won't imagine when I advertise this course, one lady randomly, I don't know that lady till today. I have never seen that lady. She goes on my group, sees my advert and says, fake reader, don't take any course from him. And I'm like, excuse me, do I know you?
That is a nice promotion.
I was like, okay. And then she was blocked from my group, obviously, because I do not tolerate such nonsense about me at all. Next is what tarot is not. A lot of misconceptions go about tarot. It is not a future foreseeing tool. You are not here to do astrology. You are not here taking out and reading palms of people. Why am I saying that? Because here we are reading the energies. Focus and understand, we are here to read energies and not the future. Now, Estella would be like, what is he saying in this world? What I'm trying to say here is, you're not looking at the long-term life of a person, but the current energy that is going on in his life. You're judging the energies, you're reading the energies and not the future, actually. That's why I'm saying it is not a future forcing tool. Devender ji, what is happening here is, you have come with a certain energy to me, right? Like, for example, you say, Chayan, I want to earn so-and-so amount of money. My energy, my reading of your energy is, Devender ji is in a requirement of a financial boon right now. So this is what I'm going to read. I'm not going to read, well, how is your job going to be, or how are you going to do in life? When will you become an Ambani? All that future forcing tools. My focus is, will you get this certain amount of money or not? When will you get it? When is the likely movement to happen? I will try to read those energies rather than your palms or your astrological chart or horoscope or anything of that sort. Fine. I hope that clarifies my stance pretty much. Estella, Devendraji, and
Yes.
you must guys remember one thing. There will be a lot of times when clients will come after 3 months or 4 months and tell you, you said so-and-so, half of this happened and the half of this did not happen. Go to the basic rule where I said 3 things should be in line: your energy, their energy, and the environment. That means there is either of the 3 going wrong. Now, most of the times clients will lie to you. You will find extramarital cases where people are lying blatantly. You will find people who will lie about their jobs, about stealing, about doing whatnot, and they will be coming to you as if they are the most prettiest and humblest soul on earth. Nothing ever done. They are angels flying in the sky, and they will just come to you. Oh, मैं सबसे भोला हूँ. मैंने कभी कोई गलती नहीं करी. I am just so pure, pious, religious. And when you go into the depth, you realize that, they are messing up. It tells about cause and effect. What is the situation? How was it caused? What was this, stimulus of the situation? What caused this situation? How did the situation come to be? And what is the effect of the situation? For example, you can pick up the cards for Corona. What was the cause of it? Human latency, human greed, right? It was a mismanaged situation. And the effect is that the entire world is having a trouble trying to keep it at bay. How many people agree with me? Okay. Devendra
Yes,
ji
right.
does. Estella ji is like, no, Corona is not man-made. It is natural. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'd rather not judge China for that. Okay. It shows shows us the cause of our experience. Whatever we are experiencing in his life, whether it is a job loss or a relationship loss or a fight or an anger or a situation or a liking, what is the cause of that event? Why is it happening? Why has the past happened to us? You understand things from your unconscious brain. Now, what is happening? Your conscious brain is always a radical brain, a rational brain. You will only think, logically from your brain. Am I right or am I wrong? But here in this, you will not just listen to the rational part of your brain, you will also listen to the unconscious part, what your heart says, what your gut says, what your intuition says, what your sixth sense says. Devendra ji, clear? बहुत ब्लैंक हो आप, यू टोटली ब्लैंक, क्या हो गया, मजा नहीं आ रहा है, बोर हो रहे हो?
सब ध्यान से सुन रहे हैं आपको.
मेरा प्रवचन चल रहा है.
No, it's your time to speak. That's why we are
Okay.
here. We want to listen to you. Yeah.
Tarot will actually help you to take the full responsibility of life because tarot will give you a likely outcome to the events. Now, if Estella says that, I've applied for a job, what should I do? And I would say that, you applied for a job, go for the interview, and this is the kind of behavior you're supposed to put up out there in the interview. Show them you're a very strong woman, you're the queen of wands or the queen of swords, you're ready to fight and do everything. Instead of being a queen of cups and crying in that interview, oh, I lost my previous job, oh, holy sister, brother, give me the job, I really need it. Don't do that. Okay, so that kind of stuff, tarot will guide you. Whereas when you go towards the media kind of jobs, there is the place where you need to show your creativity. That is the place where you need to be the queen of cups, where you can actually show that, when I will do an advertisement or when I'll make a story, I'll be very emotional, I'll care about people's emotions. You can understand how the situation is. It will also empower you to change the wasteful. If I tell you that you should not take a certain job or you should not do a certain business, you can avoid that thing altogether, right? And move ahead. Devendra ji agreed? Devendra ji has muted and he's like, "Kaam hai, aaram se aaj pravachan sununga." Okay. What are the precautions that you're supposed to take with tarot? Very importantly, don't let them become the authority of your life. Now, it should not be the case that you just pick up the card. Oh, what am I going to eat today? 3 options, 3 cards. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Will this happen or not? Tuck, tuck, tuck. 3 cards. Yes, no. My dear friends, remember that tarot is not the ruling authority of your life. Don't just pick up your tarot cards for everything and anything right now in life, okay? What happens with a lot of people is they will ask everything from tarot then. And that is actually a disease. It's a mental disease to ask tarot too much. Now, if you have a friend, for example, and you ask your friend every damn question in your life, what should I eat? When should I sleep? What should I do? Should I go there or not? Would I meet this person or not? What will happen? Your friend will burn up, right? They will eventually say, give me some space. You are exhausting me. Isn't that true? Devendra, try
Yes.
doing that to your wife, Rupali ji. May I go to the toilet, madam? May I please have food, madam?
These people keep on disturbing me every time I take out the cards. So they keep on, they want to ask each and every questions in the night. Also, they keep on doing that.
Don't get into the trap.
Today also with this course, they both want to sit next to me. I said, no, give me my headphones. I'm going to listen alone.
Well done. I'm impressed. Okay. So don't let tarot become the authority of your life. Don't just go by every decision that tarot gives you. Go by your internal feel also. Now, why will I say that? Tarot sometimes, now, if you're disturbed, Estella has just come out of a traffic jam. Wouldn't she be frustrated? Frustration would be there. Now you go home and you open up the cards and you ask a question in that frustration. What kind of results do you expect? The cards will be negative.
negative. Right.
Energies will be negative. And when energies are negative, This authority will also become negative and you will be ruled by the negative. Hence, do not make them the authority in your life. The first rule is be calm, let the other person be calm, let the environment be calm, and then read. Now, Devendraji, just now you gave me an example wherein you just start reading and people start coming to you buzzing with questions, right? How much of you would actually go into the reading then? You would be like, okay, this is the last question. I'm not going to read the cards after this. After 3 or 4 questions, you'll be like, nahi, bas bahut ho gaya aaj ka. I can't do more of this.
Yes, yes.
True?
Yes, I get a headache if a lot of questions are asked because you are getting connected to the energy.
Exactly.
And that's what the disturbance happens afterwards.
Exactly. So you have to understand your reservoir of, say, the calmness, the reservoir of being able to read is also limited because you're learners right now. In the beginning, you might be able to read 5 questions at a go, or maybe 6 questions at a go, or 10 questions at a go. And then you might feel heavy. You might feel that you just absorbed too much of information or too much of energy from other people. Now, what happens? For example, Estrella lost a job, comes to Devendra, gives him a call. Come on the video call. I need to have a reading. Devendraji turns on the video call and Estrella is crying. I lost my job. How will I pay my bills? How will I pay for my son's education? How will I pay for his milk? How will I buy this? How will I buy that? What is happening? She's having a very negative influence right now. She's having a very negative energy. And who's the person who's accepting that energy? Your tarot cards as well as your Devendraji, right? What will happen? The readings will not be bang on because the entire environment is full of that emotion of hopelessness, of feeling sad. So don't let the environment be full of any kind of an emotion when you're trying to do a reading. You have to be extremely, extremely neutral. We will talk about this in detail in the future, today itself. Don't make them an excuse. Now, if you are not doing certain things in life, don't say tarot told me to do that. Simply say, I got a suggestion from somebody and I felt whether I should do it or not. And there was an answer called no. Because tarot is not supposed to be your authority, right? Tarot is not Bhagwan. Tarot is not God. It's just a simple indication from God, right?
Right, right.
Let them function as a searchlight. Now, if you have a torch in your mobile and there is darkness, right? There's complete darkness in this room. It will help me to search for things and find my path. It won't give me a path. It is not my Google Maps, right? A torch cannot be your Google Maps. Google Maps tell you what path to take and when will you reach. Searchlight will just show you the path and you have to walk it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know where the turn is. It will just tell you, aage turn. It will just show you that there's a turn on the right, there's a turn on the left. You have to make your own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
What if you reach a T point? There's a left also, there's right also. You can take any path. Follow your inner voice. Your inner voice is nothing but your intuition, your sixth sense, your gut feel, whatever you want to call it. Now, Devendraji, the other day we were having a conversation when I said, I sometimes feel that I listen to goddess, right? That could be the goddess, but that could also be an inner voice in the feminine matter.
Okay.
Are you getting my clue?
Hmm.
My gut or my sixth sense could be guiding me in a feminine voice, which I judge as the goddess, right? So it could be anything. You have to listen to your inner voice as well. Now, what are the key terms when we talk about tarot? Number one, there is a supreme power over all of us. We call that God, we call that Jesus, we call that Krishna, we call that Rama, we call that whatever we want to say. There are people who call it Almighty, they call it universe, they call it the source, the creator, the spirit, the angels, whatsoever they want to call. Now it is on you, whom do you consider the supreme energy? Now, for example, Devendraji is a very hardcore bhakta of goddess Lakshmi. He's a hardcore devotee of goddess Lakshmi. I'm just taking an example, huh? Devendraji, don't be offended. So he might say, for me, God would be goddess Lakshmi. Whenever I read my cards, I will take her blessings and then I will do my readings. Next, there will be a word that you will hear a lot, which is called psychic protection. How many of you know what is psychic protection? Estella, Devendra ji, Shweta ji? I'm so sorry, I've been ignorant.
No.
Yes, psychic protection. You have already gone through this part of the course.
Hmm. Protecting ourselves now from negativity or outside negative energies and all.
Yes, very good. Now, psychic protection is basically protecting yourself from other people's energy or negativity. Now, for example, just a minute ago, I just gave an example. Estella calling up Devendra ji, asking about a job. She's crying and crying and crying. And what did I say? There's a lot of negativity around it. There's a lot of emotion around it.
Right.
What happens is when Devendra ji goes for it, the reading, that negativity or that emotions affect him. I will give you 2 or 3 examples what will happen. Devendra ji finds and opens the card and there are negative outcomes. Now he feels, if I tell this fine lady that there are negative outcomes, she's already crying, she might get into depression or she might get into anxiety and do something negative. She might even think of slicing off her wrist because she's burdened by responsibilities in our case study that we've taken up, and she might do something. So what happens? He gets a negative vibe and he tries to absorb that negative vibe and give up something more pleasant, which is not right ethically. Number 2, he himself might carry off this negativity and create a fight at his home. He might be like, Rupali, don't talk to me. I am pissed off right now. I want to help this lady called Estelle and I'm helpless. What do I do? This world is so negative. What do I do? There are ladies who are, jobless, and there are this and that and blah and blue, all of that negativity. Next, I wish I could take care of the child. It is so depressing that the mother is not able to take care of the child. All that energy has been absorbed. And what is happening? This man is disturbing himself. And who does this energy belong to? Our client. And as I said, there will be times when client will be basically listening to what they want to listen, no matter what you have to say. In this class, I'm going to tell you about a lady whom I had encountered. This lady used to give me a call every second day, and she was dating an army man. And the army man listened to his mother and got married to another girl without having let this girl know. And they were doing sex digitally. This girl was, making out with him on the internet. Gives me a buzz every day. What will happen to my relation? What will happen to my relation? And how does that affect me? When she's crying every day, lamenting every day, I become irritable. I become ignorant. I become angry. I block her. Who's getting affected here? I am getting affected here. She though is daily crying, right? Now, if she's a habitual crier or habitually dependent person, how can I help her? I cannot. I can only distance myself from such negative people. Or I have to cultivate the energy within me that I'm not affected by such people. How many of you feel that you have that kind of an energy to, repel such kind of negative people?
I do.
Savita ji, on a regular basis.
Regular. Not on reading, but generally also in normal life also I do.
So be very careful with the kind of people you're interacting with. Next, there is something
Same with me also.
There is something called master lessons. These are the lessons that you're born to learn on earth, like forgiveness, compassion, benevolence. Now, whenever there's Christmas or there's Diwali around the year, suddenly all benevolence, care, love, affection towards the society, charity comes into picture, right, Estella? Thanksgiving comes and everybody's like, thank you. And the rest of the year, they're like, who are you? So there are master lessons that we need to learn. On Diwali, all of us are giving tips to our laborers and our people who are working with us, whether it is somebody who's washing our cars, whether there's somebody who's cleaning our house, and we're, showing that forgiveness and compassion to everybody. But in our daily lives, we need to remember that our relationships or our lives are spoiled by not showing forgiveness, by not showing compassion, by not showing gratitude. Now, for example, Devendra ji asked for a glass of water from his wife. the lady brings the water for him. Devendraji, do you always thank her for that water?
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes I do. Caught with the master lesson, gratitude. What happens is we become very complacent in nature. Let us just forget it is the wife. It is somebody else. You go to somebody's house and they're serving you water, or they, give you a can of beer, because in Western cultures it is fine. You go to the fridge, you open and you just take out a can of beer and you just start drinking or something. Now what happens? You have to be full of gratitude for the kind of things that you're being given. And that is what sometimes you would actually need to tell your clients also. There will be people who will come for their financial readings and they will be like, why am I not accumulating wealth? And your answer would be, because you are not thankful for the universe. You're not thanking the universe enough to, give you all that kind of, abilities and, blessings. So what a lot of people do, including Devendraji, I know, whenever they earn money, they give a certain portion as donation. Or they go to God and they just say, thank you so much for this money. Happens, Devendraji? I know you by now. He's always doing this. Make it a habit. Whenever you earn some money, say, thank you, God. Estella, makes sense? Why? When you thank God or somebody for the kind of contribution they give in your life, you actually open the doors for multiplication. But when you say, oh God, I wanted $10, you gave me only $2, what does the universe say? You wait, I'll show you, I won't even give you 2. Keep waiting. And when you say thanks for 10, it'll be like, oh, this guy is so generous. I'm going to open up all my, treasures for him and everything is yours.
Someone is interested in your course. My daughter, she's hiding here.
She's right here. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, come and come.
Ikde aao. Hi.
Hi,
Very
please.
pretty. Very pretty. Okay, we will go ahead and we will start with the scary cards. But before that, I need to say hi to this beautiful little girl who's been here. And soon you will grow up again. And once you're 14, 15, we will take you to the course too. Okay, till then, enjoy your childhood. Take care. Let's start with the scary cards. Now, there are some cards which are also called the scary cards or the dark cards, which are always appearing intense. For those who have opened up the deck by now, there is a Tower card, there's a Devil card, there's a Death card, there's a 9 of Swords, there's a 10 of Swords. And these are scary. They look negative and dark. But then it does not mean that they're negative all the time. They could just simply have lessons to be learned. Now, for example, there's a Death card. Death card means the end, closure.
But
And
mm-hmm.
yes, there's somebody who's asking something, but
No. I was listening.
so basically what's happening here is something is coming to an end without an expectation. You don't want your near and dear ones to die, right? It just suddenly happens all of a sudden that somebody dies of. Similarly, in a death card, a situation or a thing will just finish off completely, naturally. And you're like, what happened? Why did this happen? You'll be clueless, right? That is the death card. Doesn't necessarily mean that somebody will die, your dog will die, or your cat will die, or somebody will die in the family. No. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about choosing a deck. How many of you already have a deck? Shwetaji, do you have a deck?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Which one are you using?
Rider-Waite.
Okay. How about Savitaji?
Same Rider-Waite.
Yes,
Yeah.
my favorite deck, Estella. Devendraji, which one are you using? Microphone.
I've taken the printout and I have made the deck on my own.
That's all right.
Rider-Waite.
That's Rider-Waite. Okay, perfectly all right. Okay, one more thing. If you've actually taken out a printout and you're reading, that's also not a heinous crime. Now, some people will say, oh, this deck you printed, it is not original. No, there's nothing original or nothing, fake, to be honest. It is how you connect with it.
Energy is
Ma'am, I can't hear you.
I said energies are more important than the.
Yeah, how are you feeling about it? Okay, now let's start choosing a deck. I found a deck coming to me. This is my new deck. Look for a connect. When I hold this deck in my hand, how do I feel? Estella has a Lightseers deck. It is a beautiful, colorful, extravaganza kind of a deck. I love that deck. Devendraji has a deck that he's printed for himself, something that he's connected so well that he felt like, I will print it, I will cut it off from the chart papers or say from the papers, and I'm going to make my own deck. Look at the kind of dedication he's put into it. And his connect will be so strong that, even if he's not in a great mood and he pulls out a card, he will get a good message. Why? Because he's invested his energy out there. Estella has invested her energy by finding out a deck which appeals to her to the extent of, falling in love with it. Savita ji has fallen into love with her deck by some of the other method that she discovered. Explore the imagery when you have a deck in your hand, be it any deck. Since Estella's here, Estella, can you please open up your Lightseers and show some cards here? Because it's there right there in my bag, but then I don't want to get up from the class. Yes, please bring it a little closer to the camera. Yeah. Can you see the hermit out there? There's this lady who's holding her knees. There's this lady who's
Wow.
looking here and there. There's a
Beautiful.
man whose hair is flying and there is a cup beyond his knees. Show some more. Yes, there is a two of wands where this lady is looking out of the window. And there is this 8 of pentacles where this lady is working hard on her work desk. There's a
Chen,
9.
which deck is this?
Lightseers. Then there is this magician who's working on a project. So you see, yes, put it down, please. You see the imagery of every deck, and then you decide how you connecting with it. There are many other decks that I'll be introducing you to today. Consider experience. How experienced are you? Have you been reading for a very long time? Or are you just completely new? Now, Estella, when you start with something like a Lightseers deck, what happens is the conventional decks have certain conventional meanings fixed. For example, this is my Knight of Swords. There are white clouds here. There is a sword here. There could be intricate designs out here. There is this design out here. The horse is almost flying. There's a crooked shoe out here. Now, when you open your deck and you take out the Knight of Swords, you will see a horse running in behind. There's a man running towards the horse with a sword in his hand. Though the objects are same, but intricate details are different, right? So please consider your experience while choosing it. This is Rider-Waite. Rider-Waite is the most traditional kind of deck. Before that, they were the playing cards or the cartomancy cards. And now the modern decks like Lightseers are there. There are many others. We will talk about them also. Check out the guide booklet. With every deck, you get a guide booklet. There's a thin booklet with every book, with every deck. Try and open it. Are you getting the messages clear when you open that book? Is the language too tough? If you open the Rider-Waite's deck, the small book that comes with it. Yes, Estella, please look upstairs. When you open up that book, your book says about the Lightseers and the Shadowseers, right? That is basically the upright cards and the reversed cards. Our normal books will talk about, the straight cards or upward cards or the reversed cards. Are you connecting with this booklet also or not? Are you understanding the English given there also or not? Is the language clear to you or not? Because the Rider-Waite deck comes with the book, which has, I don't know what kind of English language. It goes right from here. You need a dictionary to guide yourself.
Right. Even, right.
Find an apt size. It should
Even
not.
I don't connect with that booklet.
Yes, that is why your hair in my coats. Okay. Find an apt size. It should not be too small because your cards won't fit into your hands. It should not be too this big that you're not able to hold the cards. It should be just apt enough to fit in your hands. Understand how to use your cards, which you'll do in this course. Check for the quality. It should not be too thin. It should not be that paper thin. Devendraji, I don't know about the quality of cards you were using, the kind of material that you use to make your cards. They should not be too thin like a paper that you just fold it and it just folds and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to buy your own or make your own. Once you are an expert, you can make your own tarot cards as well. There are a lot of people who are doing that. Estella has a deck which is called the Light Seers, is also a deck that has been formed by somebody. Now, assume that, if that person is so scared of, tarot, that person will never pick up his own deck. They will never make one. And there are thousands of decks in the market, right? Chaliye, let's move on and I will show you some of the decks. Number one is this Rider-Waite deck, which is right there. It is called the Rider Tarot deck also. There is Everyday Tarot. There's a deck called the Monday Tarot. There is a deck on the right, which is also the Rider-Waite Tarot deck.
Right.
Then there is a black deck, which is right here with tarot name. Then there is this Archangel Power Tarot cards. Yeah, even I have this one. Now, this deck is unconventional in the form because on every card of this deck, you will have an angel's face with a message, which is not the case in every tarot deck. Next is the Light Seers, which Estella very well showed us. Then there is this Monday Tarot. Look at the cards out there. This is lady who's raising her hand. There's a sun. Then there is another lady who's having 2 cups in her hands like this. Can you see that? This one. So what happens is, how well do you connect?
I'm not able to see which one.
Okay, can you see this now? Can you see this now? Just give me a second. Can you see this now? This lady holding 2 cups and this one. Savita ji.
I am here only. I'm just having a look.
Okay, that was Shweta ji, most probably. I assumed
Is this tarot, the Rider Tarot deck is different and this one is the different? I have the one
I'm not able to.
right.
These two are basically almost identical, but there's some symbols, so there's some things or objects which are differently colored. Shweta ji, let it go to Google. You can search them on Google also later on, and this PPT will also be shared with you guys. You can see it later on, no issues. Now, how will you connect to a new deck?
Sure, I will do that.
Use and read the book. There is a small book that comes, use it or read it. Now, for example, those who have purchased this Rider-Waite deck like me and who had a problem with the booklet, they can go on YouTube and they can listen to people saying stuff about those tarot cards, or they can join Chayanjan with this course. Next, you have to very strongly journal for next 6 months. This is one thing you have to promise yourselves, that whatever readings you do, I will tell you how to journal also. Whatever you read, whatever you do, you have to journal for 6 months. You have to cleanse your decks really well. Cleansing will also be taught. Put other decks, if any. If you have any other decks, you can put them away or put them around you if you need it. Don't mess around with playing cards. Your playing cards are not your decks as of now. And don't make these as playing cards. A lot of people do that. They will take out the minor arcana and they will start playing cards out of it. Don't do that. You should spend time and sleep with the deck also at times. For example, you are clueless and you need an idea. You can use the magician card near your bedside and you can sleep. The next morning, you will wake up with an idea. Okay? Spend time with your deck. Hold it in your hands. Feel its energy. You can keep it below your pillow. I think Devendra ji had told me that he was sleeping with the deck below his pillow.
Okay. I want to share an experience. Can I do
Yeah,
that?
sure.
The day I had slept with that tarot, it was actually, I had a dream of 1 month later what was to happen. My dad's elder sister was going to die, and I had the same scene in that hospital, which happened 1 month after that.
I guess you shared this with me, right?
Yeah. So there's, because that right now I'm saying it here, I want to share because I also want, if somebody else has experienced similar kind of things, because now I actually keep that next to my head, the tarot deck, and sometimes when I forget it, I actually get bad dreams now. It feels like it's protecting me now from the bad energies. I don't know what's the answer behind this.
I had told you then also, your tarot deck is preparing you for the future. by
Right.
giving you visions about the future. It is trying to protect you and prepare you for the future. That's what the purpose your tarot deck is playing in your life as of now. So the more you connect with it, the more it will work with you. Understand that not all tarot decks are for you. Now, for example, initially when I started off with the Light Seers deck, I used to feel extremely overwhelmed and I could not read a word. I used to put down my deck, go to my original deck and read from there. Why? Because sometimes your energies are not merging with the cards. In the beginning, all of you might feel a problem like that. For example, I and Shwetaji were learning this course. I was teaching Shwetaji privately earlier, and there was a mishap in her family. She had to discontinue with the course then.
Right.
And there was a disassociation. It's okay. So that was not the perfect timing for you. Sometimes the deck could not be the perfect one for you. For example,
Right.
Devendraji right now reads from a Rider-Waite. Tomorrow he might feel like reading from the Monday Tarot. This one, or the Mystic Monday Tarot, or say the Archangel's power cards because he's attracted to the angels, or say the Everyday Tarot card because it is more symbolic in nature. Depends on his energies. Okay.
But Chand,
Hmm.
tell me one thing. Actually, I'm not able to ना क्या कहते हैं कि connect. I'm not able to connect with Rider-Waite. I don't know why. सब ऊपर
Take
से
a
ही
break.
निकल जाता है.
Take a break. If it is not working out for you, watch some videos or take a break or change your deck to Light Seers or something else. You can try this one. The Archangel Power Tarot cards. They're much easier, much
Okay.
easier, and they have a
Okay.
message on them. So they will basically connect with the energy. Estella is using it, I believe. Estella, you must be connecting with the energies much easier with this deck because this has the messages out there. Can you please show us a card of this particular deck so that people can see it and understand? Oh God, I can speak so much in a line. Now you see, there's this something 3 of Raphael and there is a message below
Right.
it. So that ways you will be able to connect very easily and you'll be able to form up your messages and readings very quickly.
I connect with angels also very easily.
Yes,
They
very
always
good.
help me.
Very good. Devendraji, you are not looking at the screen. You're not supposed to use the deck. I can read your expression looking at the deck. He's happy with his Rider-Waite. He does not want to venture into anything new right now. He's like, okay, I'll open this also. I'll open that also.
I am now. My next deck is going to be the printouts of what
I
we have
know,
spoken.
I know,
Oracle.
you're ready. You're ready.
The Oracle one.
You know, Devendraji's wife is gonna kill me, and she's gonna give me a call, and she's like, "What a maniac you made made my husband." Okay, just keeping the jokes apart. Now, how do you set your tarot table? So, first of all, it has to be a plain table because when you spread your cards, okay, when you spread your cards, you don't want an uneven surface. It has to be a plain surface, okay? Now, most of the people keep a cloth, especially velvet. Why velvet? Because velvet is a soft cloth. Cards spread out very evenly. You can keep anything that you feel like. You can have a cotton cotton cloth. You can have something like a tissue cloth or something like what is that thing called? I forgot that word. Crochet thing when these threads are made out and all of that.
Right.
Next is you can keep crystals. A very good thing would be keeping crystals. Cabochons. Cabochons are basically like pebbles. Chunks. I'll show you. I have a chunk of rose quartz. Sorry, this one. Red jasper out here on me.
Red jasper.
Red jasper with me. Now this is a cabochon. Looks like a button. Doesn't it look like a big, huge button out there?
I also have this.
Yes. You can keep raw crystals like this. This is a raw crystal. It's a raw moonstone along with the tourmaline. You can keep forms like pyramids. This is a black obsidian for protection. I will be telling you some crystals for your protection also in this class.
This is black tourmaline, right?
Yeah, tourmaline, yes. Next is a peacock feather. In the Indian culture, peacock feather is known to remove all kinds of negativity. A lot of Krishna bhakts or the devotees of Krishna will agree with me on this. Peacock feather is known to remove evil, negative energies altogether. Peacock feathers are known to purify the air and everything. That's why a lot of saints keep peacock feathers with them. Incense or essential oil burner. Now, the fire element can be present with you in the form of burning incense, or in an essential oil burner, you can burn essential oil. Maybe it's an electric one, or maybe you can have a candle, or you can even have candle holders with, scented candles or plain candles. You can keep a glass or a bowl of water because the water is also an element. Now, for those people who go very angry in a reading, a glass of water will help you a lot. Why? It'll cool you down. For those people who are extremely low on their energies, very sly, very slow, they need fire. They need to grow their energies. Next, a lot of people can use sage or dhoop. Sage is basically saging sticks. Estella must be knowing, aware about sage. And dhoop, Indian culture knows very well. Dhoop, yes.
That is bay leaves.
Yeah, bay leaves can be used. A lot of people use Buddha statue because Buddha is a very calming figure, very calm person. Here, Devendraji, I would not suggest you to use Shiva or somebody else because Shiva is also known for his fierce form of Nataraj, where he does Tandav. A strong goddess like Kali or Durga could also be very disturbing at times because the energies would be extremely high. But you can keep goddess Lakshmi because she's a very gentle goddess. You can keep Lord Ganesha because he's also a very peaceful god. And he's the initiator. Hanumanji is very aggressive if you go to his child form.
Ganeshji, we can keep.
Ganeshji is very nice. Ganeshji is very humble, peaceful, and he's a great initiator of positive things. Estella, for you, I can say you can keep all the angels which are known to you, right from Archangel Michael to Saint Jude or anybody you believe in. Anything would work, okay? Fine, let's go ahead. Understanding the reversed cards. Reversed cards are nothing but upside down cards. This is something like a reversed card.
So I have a question for reverse card.
Yes.
I have never practiced reverse card. I don't know why.
No problem. No problem.
I never. But these few days, I'm feeling that I should do reverse card reading also. In spite, earlier I was not happy with that. I was thinking that why should we read it opposite when we can read it in, upright, right? So this is the feeling what I'm coming. That's the reason I joined the class. That why I should
time to advance ahead. This is your time to advance ahead and venture into the second part of tarot, wherein you will be learning the reverse cards and advancing your skills further. Now, if in a general reading I get this upside down, this would actually mean that the master lesson of the previous card is not learned at all. You have not learned the lesson that your previous card was trying to teach you. For example, there's a Two of Cups card. Two of Cups talks about love, affection, partnership, togetherness. Fine. And then I get this Knight of Swords in reverse along with it. What does this mean? That you have not understood that you need to be kind, you need to be partnering around with people, you need to be compassionate with people, you need to take them together with love. Got it clear? Nothing rocket science. Simple. Previous card meaning not implicated in your life. It can also talk about the negative quality of your cards. Now this man, if you look at him, he's a very aggressive man, isn't he? He's charging ahead, ambitious. And when I turn it around, what can you get? He is not charging ahead. He's not being ambitious. He needs to be like this. Devendraji, getting it? Next. Reverse cards are mostly negative because most of your tarot cards are designed in a very positive fashion. And when they turn around, they become negative. Hence, you need to keep your mind really open. And like Savita ji just said, she was not using the reversed cards. It is not mandatory for you guys to read reverse cards. Okay? You can read the reverse cards once you are a pro with the straight cards. So Estella, you don't need to do the shadow seers till the time you're done with the light seers well. Till the time you're fine with the general cards, don't go ahead with the reversed cards. But still, to be on the safer side and to be giving a bonus in this course, I have put in the reversed cards meanings as well. I will not be teaching them. It will be there for you guys. You can refer to it in case you want to advance it. And it was not in the syllabus also. Now, next talk about psychic protection. How will you do it? It's an act of energetically preparing and protecting yourself. You can do a prayer or a ritual. Now, a ritual like burning a candle or burning a diya and asking the God to protect you. A prayer like doing chanting. Not taking people's problems or energies home. Devenderji, you're not supposed to carry my energy to your home, to be honest. If I am cribbing and crying on the phone, or if I'm shouting on the phone, you're not supposed to shout on the Rupali. Otherwise, Rupali will break your head with a hammer.
This is the problem with me. I'm like a sponge. I get absorbed. I can absorb energies very fast.
And how do you
That is
remove
what
them?
I need to.
How do you remove them?
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, biggest problem. Your ears need to be twisted for this one. Again, I'll teach you that. Don't worry. Opening to spirits and energies. You have to be open to angels. You have to be open to the energies. And do not read when you're tired. Because when you're tired, let's suppose, Devendraji, you have just come out from a hectic day of work and, Rupali says, open up your cards. Say no straight away, because you will end up dying tired. You'll be like, oh, fish, I just have to sleep. I can't read a card. Because your readings won't be right, and you will gather all that negative energy that comes from her also, in this case. I'm not saying that you generally don't have to read for your wife or at all. It's just an example. When you're totally dead tired, do not open your cards and read. Methods of protection. When I talked about protection, you can chant a prayer. This is a sample prayer given to you guys. You can read it after the class is over. I'm going to share it with you, okay? Because there's no point discussing the prayer out here, right? I hope that is clear to people. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The mind of God guides me. The life of God flows through me. The laws of God direct me. The power of God abides within me. The joy of God uplifts me. The strength of God renews me. The beauty of God inspires me. And wherever I am, God is. So this is basically surrounding yourself with the godly energy. Next, visualization is also a method of protection where you can watch a white, pink, golden, or a blue light. Whosoever is in Reiki can easily visualize, or if you're not into Reiki, you can just simply imagine closing your eyes, deep breath in, think about a certain light falling on the crown chakra or your head and slowly covering your body. Once you feel that it is done, you can gently open your eyes and do the reading. Fine? Devendraji looks
We can
very
ask
confused.
Archangel Michael also, no?
You can ask. They go niche C, last point on the slide. Asking the angels for help. I will come to it. Next is you can stomp on the ground 5 times. You've seen children, they literally stomp their foot on the ground at times when they don't want to do something. Why do they do that? They actually release that energy of not willing to do something, and then they stomp and they gradually do it. Okay, I'll do it one last time. I will eat broccoli. Estella must have experienced something like this. She's so serious about this. Next is you can use sage sticks. Before every reading, you can use sage sticks or any kind of incense sticks or oils or sandalwood incense or rose incense, whatever suits you off. Okay. Cutting off from other energies by cord cutting. Cord cutting is a simple method where you close your eyes, call upon Archangel Michael 3 times, request him to cut off all your dark energy cords from your navel with all the people that you can think of. Now, what will happen is that will lighten on all your aura and all your external levels so that you feel even more lighter. The more lighter you are, the more disconnected you are with the people. And being disconnected, you can do awesome readings. Now, like Devendraji said, I get really heavy after a reading because, I absorb people's energies like a sponge. Jot down their bloody names on a piece of paper and complain to Archangel Michael. Mr. Archangel Michael, you can talk with me on this in the private chat and I'll tell you how to do that. So you can simply call upon him and tell him, I need to get rid of these energies, cut my cords from my navel. Now imagine those dark cords coming out of your navel and just imagine a sword going through them and cutting them off, chopping them off. Next, after reading, you can rinse your feet. You can use cutting symbols. Imagine the person's face right in front of you and just cross it off. So after this class, when I'm done, Devendraji can say, okay, this guy just ate my head today. Cross chain off. Okay. Next is ask for angels for help. You can call upon Archangel Michael, the very simple process. Close your eyes, everybody, and say, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael. Say that I need help for certain things. For example, letting go of my negative energies. Please help me out. Close your eyes, normally breathe in, and once you feel lighter, just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Open your eyes very calmly, and you can continue with your day. Now, Devendraji is looking at this as if I am talking some kind of rocket science or something unbelievable, but this actually happens. This has been keeping us alive. Angels do work with us. And they do exist. And I had proven that on one of my lives. I don't remember if Savitaji was a party to that course. Savitaji, were you there in my crystals course?
No, I'm not there. When it's there,
it will be there later on. Okay, so I will share this experience. So there was this lady who was basically an Indian astrologer. She reads horoscopes and everything. And she was like, all this angels and all this mumbo jumbo, I don't believe in this nonsense. And just like Devendraji's daughter came in, her daughter was sitting with her. I said, ma'am, just close your eyes. I'm holding the pendulum in my hands. And just call upon Archangel Michael 3 times genuinely and tell him to be here in this class. If he's there, this pendulum is going to move towards a yes. And if he's not there, it's going to move in the no side. When she called him for the 3rd time, my pendulum was spinning in right. Yes, he's there. It's such a speed that the daughter was jumping in joy on the screen. She was like, Mama, stop, open your eyes. The pendulum is going on. The pendulum is going. And I was like, see, the angels can actually make you feel their presence. So they do exist, though they seem to be a very mumbo jumbo kind of a concept, but they do exist. Now, when do you have to avoid a reading? 24 hours at least after a shock. For example, you were driving and you were almost meeting a deadly accident. Your car got crashed. Do not read for the next 24 hours till you are calm and normal. You heard about somebody's death or a mishap and you're totally under a shock. Don't read. You've had a heartbreak. Don't read. You lost your job. Don't read. Take a break. Calm down. As I said, rule number 1, calm yourself down. Rule number 2, calm others down. I'm like, your client should be calmed down. When you're tired or vulnerable or under shock, do not read. When you've had a very tough day or something. When you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol or smoke or anything. If you're having any serious medication, which could be your cold and cough medication, your antibiotics or anything, do not read because it can make you feel drowsy. It can make you lose your senses. If you're having a brain fog, especially people who have had corona, should not read. Estella is my first student who's rubbing her eyes in my class ever. Next, if you're under any kind of a stress, depression, anxiety, or a panic attack, don't read. When you're emotional or cranky, never touch your cards and never read them. They will never give you a good answer. Okay? Next, who to avoid reading for? Kiske liye nahi padhna hai? People who love drinking or consuming drugs, people who are emotionally unstable, people who are not spiritual and who do not believe in, tarot or, these kind of occult sciences, people under a hangover. Now, hangover as in, they just had alcohol last night in the morning at 8 a.m. They just call you up. I want a tarot reading. Oh, please just keep the phone down. Not interested. Once you be calm, we'll talk about this. People who are sick or on the deathbed, do not read for them. Why? Because you don't want them to die with certain kind of an energy, right? Emotionally unbalanced people, especially ones who, threat you to cut their veins at every moment, suicidal tendencies, don't read for such people. Just say, excuse me, I cannot read for you. Absent or unrelated people, third parties. Estella, don't read for my girlfriend, okay? Because you don't know her. You have no business knowing her. She's absent. You've not taken a permission from her. Why will you read for her? Right? Devendraji, you're not supposed to read for my grandfather, no matter he's up in the sky. Why? Because you don't know him, first of all. You've not taken his permission. You do not have an access to his energies. So you're not supposed to read for him. Okay? This is why when people come to us and they ask about, my wife has to take up a job. And I'm like, has she given you a permission to ask questions for her? Do I know her? Can I see her picture? Getting my point? You need to connect with that third person if at all a question is being asked. Getting my point? Okay.
Right.
Now, blockages to reading. When reading makes no sense. First of all, you need to clear your deck. Sometimes what will happen is you will get contradictory cards. One card will be ultra positive and one card will be ultra negative. In that case, use this knuckle and knock this deck 3 times. You can also take up an incense stick and clear the energies. You can take up, any kind of sage to clear your deck. Do not attach too much to your reading. A lot of times people will ask the same questions and keep on taking out cards. Wrong thing to do. Do not do that. Because what will happen? One reading will give you negative answers. The another reading will give you the ultra positive answers. And you'll be like, oh God, what is happening? Let me call up, Savita ji. Savita ji, this. And I took out cards. Please, can you take out cards for me? Savita ji says the cards are negative. Oh, Devendra ji, Savita ji took out the cards for me. They were negative. I took out the cards for me. They were negative, but there was one set of cards that were positive. Can you please take out? Okay, Devendra ji says, yes, they were very good cards. Estella, I am confused because 2 people are saying very good cards. 2 people are saying very negative cards. What should I do? Create a ruckus in your life. And Estella goes like, go away from me. Not interested reading. So, how often to read on an issue? Once in a month. On a particular issue, not more than once in a month. And absolutely not more than once in a week. Okay? If there's an emergency, you can read. For example, there is somebody who's unwell. Now, we've seen their cards that they will recover. But what happens after the 15 days have passed, their health start off to deteriorate further. And you're like, the cards are, the cards are being wrong right now. My card said that they will be healing themselves and they will be going towards positive health. Why is this a negative situation right now? You can ask your cards after 10 days or 15 days or a week. Fine. If the readings are not absolutely right or not going in the right direction, but only in the case of emergency, not a regular practice. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? Today you said, this will happen. Tomorrow you'll say something else will happen. Then you'll say something else will happen. Then Rupali will say, Devendra, get out of my house. Estella's child will say, Mom, you have gone crazy. Savita ji's husband will say, please, you throw off your cards. And, I will have Vishal ji calling me up. What have you done to my wife? Why is she running crazy? Okay, let us talk about clearing your cards or getting rid of your energies, which are, reading can be cloudy at times. You can really get very confused. In that case, knock your deck, use the incense, light up a candle or a diya, use the crystals. Okay, crystals, black tourmaline for protection. Black obsidian is also there. That is also similarly looking. You can also use a labradorite, which is a grayish crystal for protection. You can also use selenite, which is not here on my table right now. Otherwise, I would have shown you. And you can use the 7 chakra kind of a thing, which could be probably a pyramid or a pendulum or something. I keep this generally with me. For psychic protection, understanding better, or third eye activation, you can use the amethyst. I keep an amethyst on my table. You can keep any of those crystals, whichever resonate with you. In case you want to know more about crystals, you can join my course also. And that is done with the advertising. Let's move further. I give you the basic crystals out there. How can I get the best of this practice? Journaling. How do you do this? You know about diary writing, yeah? Diary entries. You write the date on the top, you write the date on the top, then you write what went on through the day. Here in your journal, what will you do is date, time, venue, question, what was your question? What were the cards? What did you interpret? And lastly, how did it go? Did it actually happen or not? Feedback. So Estella does a reading for me today. Will I get a job? So she writes date of the day, 7th of January, 2022, time say 10 p.m. or say 10 a.m. And she says, Chayan asked, will you get a job? And what kind of job will it be? I took out cards. It was a 2 of cups. It was a ace of pentacles. And so I read, this is the meaning of these cards. And I understood this. And I told him this. Now, after a month, I open up my journal or otherwise Chayan gives me a call. I will just make an entry into my journal that this actually happened. My reading went right. what will happen? The more yeses you will have, the more confidence will increase, the more fluency will increase. Your hits will make you feel more knowledgeable, and your data will actually show you your progress. Along with reading tarot, it is very, very important to practice meditation daily, at least for 10 to 15 minutes, if not for an hour, because you want to awaken this third eye chakra. If you do not do that, your readings will not be accurate. Now, most of our Indians have a practice of going to the temple or worshipping at least daily in their homes for 10 to 15 minutes. Right, Devendra ji? So hence, our meditation forms a certain practice. But we must do some kind of a meditation where where we are connecting with our breath or something, and we must do that. Practice ethics. Do not lie in a reading. If somebody is about to lose a job, do not tell them, oh, you will get a promotion. If somebody is not making good in their cards, do not tell them fake reviews, okay? Because fake readings will actually make you a fake person. Pray and have a balanced diet. Do not gorge on food. Do not become a lazy ass. We don't want people who are lethargic. Declutter your home always, because cluttered homes bring in negative energies. Your toilet door should always be closed, because a lot of negative energy flows through your toilets. Declutter your almirah, declutter your wardrobe, declutter your room, declutter your home. It should always be mopped and wiped and clean. India has a lot of dust, so it's very important to dust off every day. Estella, I'm sure whatever part of Texas you're in, it is a clean city. You don't have dust like us, and you don't have pollutions like us. Okay, next is respect the divine, respect your cards also. You have to respect the universe, the God. You cannot just say, oh, you such a, my reading went off, oh, you. Don't do that. We are not supposed to do that. We are supposed to be God-loving people, if not God-fearing, right? And the ones whom we love, we're not supposed to fight around with them. Most importantly, if you have to become a tarot reader, you have to remain positive. If you are feeling negative, don't read. If you've gotten up from a weakness or illness, don't do that. Don't read it. You don't have to. You have to see your first comfort, and then you have to proceed further. Any questions till now?
Not pretty much.
Not pretty much. Okay, we'll move further. Understanding the deck of a tarot. Tarot deck can be divided into two parts. They can be the major arcana or the minor arcana. The major arcana is 22 cards, which will talk about life lessons in detail. The minor arcana, 56 cards, which will represent the elements. Now, people have started to think, what are the elements? What are these arcanas? Let us talk. Major arcana consists of 22 cards, which talks about greater things in life, themes in life, problems in life, lessons in life, karma in life. They will talk about your spiritual lessons. They will talk about the issues like rejection, loneliness, death, being happy, being solitary, being in harmony. Some people also call these cards as trumps, and the outcome of these cards cannot be changed. They are absolute. You cannot change them. They have to be learned. For example, you cannot skip the nursery class to jump into the 12th class altogether. You cannot jump into the 12th grade without having the first grade certificate, right? You cannot go into the senior secondary school without doing the primary. The same thing. They indicate lessons and urgent messages that require your attention, and the lessons will always repeat themselves till you learn them. Your cards can be transformed or changed only by learning them. For example, there's a death card with respect to a job. It means that there is an end. Yes, Devendra ji? Death card says end, completion, finish. And I'm reading for the job. So it means your job or your particular work in this job is over. Now what should happen? You should look for a certainly different one. You can transform the meaning by looking at the positive side of it. Clear? Talking about minor arcana in very brief, 56 cards, which will talk about daily problems, daily trials and tribulations. There are 4 types of cards, 13 cards each. The cups cards, the wands cards, the swords cards, the pentacle cards, they will represent 4 elements. The wand will represent an element, the cups will represent an element. We will talk about them in the next slide. Do not worry. Do not scratch your head. Do not look worried. They will talk about material problems. They will talk about emotional problems. They will talk about your finances. They will talk about, these cards can be actually changed. Their outcomes can be changed by beliefs and actions. For example, I get a card which talks about not having adequate finances. But then I have this lady called Savita ji who is like, I will work myself off no matter what. 24 hours a day, I'm going to give 16 hours a day to my work. What will happen? Eventually, the outcome will change. Will it or will it not? Because she has decided that no matter what, I'm going to earn my money because I have to deal with certain things. So these cards will basically count from 1 to 10 for each suit. And there are 4 court cards, the page cards, the knight cards, the queen cards, and the king cards. Everything will be discussed in this court. I'm like in this course, not court. Now, when we talk about the 4, suits, first suit is called the wands. The wands is basically like a stick. Okay. Is there any other name that you guys know of for the wands? Okay. Some people call it stick also. There is another name. I will get back to you on that if there is any. They represent fire. Okay. Let's imagine a wooden stick. Okay. And you're moving in a dark cave. You can easily burn it for light, for warmth. So it will talk about power, intuition. It will talk about ambition and being enthusiastic. A fire within talks about enthusiasm. Am I right? It talks about ambition when we talk about job. It talks about a person's power. With a burning stick, you can actually burn somebody, right? And the inner fire will give you an intuition to move further in life. Savita ji, so much of silence not accepted.
No, it's not like that. But I was just generally thinking that wands have a green leaf that is for the growth. Like it, I always think like this.
That depends on different decks, to be honest. This is a different deck altogether. Okay, we will talk about that also in detail. Next is the suit of coins or pentacles. Pentacles are also called coins. Pentacles are also called coins. Remember that. Pentacles talk about stability or the earth element. Now, if you look at the earth element, it's basically solid ground. Within that ground, when you sow a seed, there's an opportunity to, have a flower or have a plant. So there's talking about being groundedness. There's a talk about being having opportunities. It will talk about sensations. It will talk about finances. It will talk about your stability. Whatever grows in the earth is very stable. But if I take a money plant in a glass bottle and there's a huge, wave, what will happen? And the bottle breaks down and the plant dies off. But if it's right there in the ground, very firm, will it break or will it just lose its strength? Guys, okay, Stella and Devendra have lost interest in the sleepy. No interest. Bas, enough.
A lot of theory.
We will get into the practicals from tomorrow. Now, next is suit of swords. The swords are the air elements. They talk about your intellectual capacities, the concept, thinking, and reasoning. Lastly, the cups talk about emotions. They talk about being psychic. They talk about your opinion, your instincts, your intuition. That's about the cups. Oops. Okay. The wands will talk about movement and connection. The cups will talk about emotions, creativity, and emotion. Just emotions and creativity, and not again emotions. The swords will talk about intellectual thoughts and ideas. So just remember this thing. Wands will talk about movement. Cups will talk about emotions or creativity. Swords will talk about intellectual capacity or thoughts and ideas. Pentacles will talk about 3 things: money, business, and material things. Basically the same thing, right? Now, when we talk about the elements, now I'm going to link some kind of astrology with this. Earth is basically connected with the Taurus sign, Virgo sign, and Capricorn sign. These people are dependable, grounded, reliable, materialistic, loyal, and practical. Now, Devendra ji, Earth element was which suit? Look below the screen. Pentacles. So Pentacles was nothing but stability, It was talking about groundedness and materialistic pleasures, business, etc. I talked about. Is it on your tip now? Very easy to learn.
Yeah.
Next, we talk about the air element. I said the sword is in the air, right? Now, somebody who's in the air is never stable. He is always moving. He is always thinking. I'm a Gemini, so I'm one of these. Aquarians, Libra, and Gemini are powerful, creative, fun-loving people, adventurous, exciting, and they cannot stay at one place. They will always be in motion. Next is water. Water is also something very adjustable.
I'm Aquarian.
So we are a party. Okay, next is water element. Water element is basically Pisces. So you see those fishes right there in the water. Cancerians, the scorpions and all are all related to water. They go underground also. These are refreshing, charming, mysterious, private, sensitive, emotional people, and they represent the cups. You just finger a Scorpio. Just try to confront a Scorpio and see him disappear. They are so sentimental and emotional. Lastly, we come to the fire element. The fire element is about wands. As I showed you, the wands can catch fire very easily. So these are the Leo people, these are the Sagittarius people, and the Aries people. They are fiery in nature. You can literally see fire in their eyes. They're very strong emotionally, very enthusiastic, passionate, ambitious, temperamental. They will lose their temper in a bit. Savita ji, you remember a lady called Haniji in our course?
Yes.
Haniji was a Leo. And you saw her personality?
She never seems like, but she
Yes.
never looks like.
I was just about to come to that point. But when she is in anger, if you see her, she will burn the world. So these are
So I'm you too.
you can be one, no? Let's talk about stages of interpretation. How will you interpret tarot? Number one, when you look at a card, take out any random card, what happens is you look at the image. Look at the card, study it, understand it. Next, journal perspective. What have you learned in this class about that particular card? What do I know about the card? Next, you can read about the business or career if the question is about that. So you can talk about finances. In a business or career reading, generally what they talk about is finances or stability at the job. When there's a love and a relationship reading, you have to ask your client whether they're single or dating or double dating or divorcing or married, what is their current status. Otherwise, people will take you for a ride because they expect you to know everything as if you're God's own piece. But you are human, right? You still have 2 hands and 2 legs. You don't have 10 hands and 10 legs. You're not sitting on a horse. Additional cards will always give you clarity. You can always take out additional cards whenever you're confused and you can get clarity. And if you're still confused, knock off your deck, collecting your cards and start off again. There's no problem doing it. Fine. Next is journaling. We've already discussed it. Whenever you read it, you just journal down what did you read, what was the question, who was it for, when was it done. The basic spread. What is the basic spread? Generally, you talk about the past. The first card is mostly about the past. Then you talk about the present, and then you talk about the future. What is going to happen in the future? Any rocket science here in this slide? No. It's the most commonly used spread. It's a very quick and simple reading and easy for regular use. This is one spread that you will be starting with. Now, how will you start your reading? You first of all have to clear your cards. You can use Sage to clear your cards. You can shuffle them and ask your questions while shuffling. Okay, so let me just clear off my cards. What is Devendraji thinking right now about this class? Set the card. Now, let us not stop the process now, okay? So just look at this. Next step is set the cards in a reversed U shape. So this is a reversed U shape. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Ask the question loudly. What is Devendraji feeling about this class at this moment? Pick 3 cards at a time. 1, 2, and say 3. Place them left to right. My left is this and my right is this. So I took my first left card, then the middle card, then the right card. Left card is talking about the past. Second is the middle, and last is the bright future. Okay. So now you guys will be amazed to know. The first card was the 10 of Swords, where he was like, okay, I really want to learn this. Till now, I've been trying. I want to progress in this. This cannot get worse if I do not learn it. This is something I really want to know. If I don't know, my instinct will actually torture me now. Because I've printed the cards also, I've done everything I've done with my preparation. I have to learn it very firmly now, be it from any kind of a teacher who's sensible. True or false, Devenderji, turn on your mic. This was your past.
Yes, yes.
The present is now you're starting to like tarot and you're starting to like the class, though it is theoretical and is boring to some extent, but still you're liking it.
Yes.
You're loving it because the Lover's card is basically showing some attraction towards the class. And the future towards this class is you will feel elated, happy, recognized, and great about this class in future.
Nice
And-
cards, sir.
And this is not about my self-praise. Okay, tips to tarot reading. No cheat sheets from day one. Nobody will make any cheat sheets. You will not make shortcuts to your cards. Okay, so this is Six of Swords. So this has to talk about victory. This has to talk about elation. This has to talk about recognition. No keywords. You have to understand the cards. What is the image showing? You have to have patience for lifelong journey. Now, patience will come gradually. Practice is required. You have to read at least 40 people before you get out in the market. Estella is like, 40 people for free? No ways. Not doing it. Okay. Make personal abbreviations. Now you have to have your own abbreviations. Don't go about the tarot deck abbreviations. Okay. How do you associate to the card? What does it make you feel? Fine. Now there was this man who's sitting on the horse with some, olive branches out there on this wand, and he's sitting on a horse. He's looking happy. There are people around him who are happy also. How does this make you feel? Devenderji, Estella, come on, give me one word each.
I always think of this card as a marriage card, a good kind of understanding between both the parties and a happy situation.
Could be. Yes, very good. Estella?
Confident.
Confident. And how about it, Savitaji?
Victory.
Very good. And how about this, Shwetaji? Come on. Can't get your voice.
Same, victory and happiness.
Wonderful. So these are your personal abbreviations which you guys just made. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, and evaluate and create. Now, for example, I've talked about a divorce situation. Estella says, being confident. You will tell your client to be confident in this situation. Do not lose faith. Devenderji said, what was your word? Devenderji, don't mind. Please, can you repeat?
I feel it as a marriage card kind of thing.
You said it's a marriage card.
Sides, so both sides are happy.
You said both sides could be happy in this divorce situation if you try to mend this relationship. Still not wrong. Now, there's somebody else who has a different abbreviation, and everybody will have their own abbreviation. None of them are completely wrong. None of them are completely right. Depends on the situation and the understanding of the situation. Watch a card, pause, interpret the card, and move on to the next card. Like I read 3 cards, right? From left to right. So the first card I watched, it was a 10 of Swords, I read it. The Lover's card came, I read it. The 6 of Wands came, I read it. I watched a card, I paused, I interpret, and moved to the next. Now you would be like, Jayan, you were very quick in your reading. Because obviously I've got into the practice. Gradually, you guys will also fall into the practice and you'll be very quick. And you can summarize and return if necessary. If your client does not understand, just summarize the entire thing again, tell them the story again, and they will understand. Fine. What are mistakes to avoid? Do not take out every card of the deck, one after another. Okay, this happened. This. And then you gradually read the whole entire deck like a story to them. Don't do that. You're supposed to take out some cards and just a few clarifiers. Don't take out all 72 cards and make a story. Otherwise, the person will actually get lost. Like, don't read for me. Get lost actually meant that the client will actually say, I don't understand a word of what the story you're saying. Next, not reading reversals. After a certain period of time, you should read reversals once you're a pro with the normal cards. Asking only yes or no questions. You can ask any kind of questions, not just yes or no. Asking too many time sensitive questions. You have to be very careful before asking time sensitive questions because you need to learn how to do it. Ignoring the link between tarot and the elements. Now, I've taught you the 4 elements. Estella, please repeat them for me. Air, water, earth, and
air, water, fire, and wet water, air.
earth.
I want to say emotions, but it's cups, right?
Yes, perfect.
That's
perfect.
water though.
That's water though. Water is emotional. Water is very, very emotional. Next, you have to connect them with the elements. Lastly, do not use too much of a big spread. Do not take out 15 cards or 20 cards of a spread and then start reading. Do not depend on your memorization of the meanings of the cards. Using only intuition. Just don't go by memorization or only by intuition. There has to be a mix of them. There has to be rational and emotion, both of them, intuition and rational. Drawing many extra cards as clarifiers. Clarifier should not be the entire deck, tuck, 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 tuck. You just take out cards and you, okay, this happened. Oh, no, this happened. This happened. No, don't do that. Take out a few clarifiers. Be very firm in your readings. Deciding that the reading isn't accurate. You are not supposed to judge the reading at all. Only when you feel unclear, that is the time when you're supposed to redo the reading. Otherwise, you don't say that my reading is inaccurate. How will other people trust you then? Clear? Now, since you people are newbies, when you start reading the cards, you will actually feel that, oh my God, wow, what a pro, I have all the answers. Try and understand, it is not you who has the answers, it is the universe that is giving you the answers. So you have to be extremely humble towards the universe. You are not answering people, it is the universe who's answering through you. Okay, how to trust your readings? Keep a journal. Observe your own thoughts. What is your thought telling you? Test and retest. I read this card. This is how I read. This is how it came out. Is it right? Is it wrong? Practice and practice and practice. Make sure you have the right cards in front of you. You're not mixing up the cards. You're not mixing 2 knights or 2 cups or 2 wands or 2 something else. You can sleep with the deck. Only you know how you are building a relationship with your deck. Now, Devendraji's deck is warning him regarding the positive and the negatives in his future. Your deck might make you have other dreams. Your deck might give you a sound sleep as well, right? Now, numbers and tarot, this would be the second last slide of the day because I've bored you guys too much today. Let's get into practice. The aces in a deck will talk about the new beginnings, startings, inspiration, decision, and project. So since this is the first class, this is the ace card, or this is the ace class. Today you made a new beginning, a new start. You were inspired. You started this project. Tomorrow onwards, you will require balancing, decisions, learnings, how to establish relationships between cards, how to find a middle ground between your rational and your emotional brain. Third day, you will start creating your own meanings, how to collaborate between things, how to be inspired further. Fourth day, you will start achieving the meanings of the cards. There will be more stability. 5 number says change in status. Now you will change from a novice to somebody who understands things. You will understand and fine tune things on the 5th day. 6 is the card of success, material satisfaction, rewards. 7th, we'll talk about patience, trust, commitment, because on the 7th day, most of you guys will be breaking. Can't read enough, too much of theory, too much of this, too much of that. But on the 8th day, when you read again, there will be progress, priorities, moving towards, moving forwards in a controlled manner. 9th day, you will have clarity, accumulation. You will actually see the end, that where is I need, hard work, where is what I need, and you will reach. And on the 10th day, when you were completing this, you will learn all your lessons and your rewards will be ability to give better readings. Now, these are the number in the cards as well, and they have the meanings also. I've told you this like a story. Just understand 3 of anything, or say 4 of anything would mean this, okay? Let's suppose, say 3 of cups. 3 is talking about creation, and cups is talking about emotion. So something emotional is going to be created, or You could have a collaboration or a partnership which is very emotional, or you could be inspired on an emotional level to further pursue your thing. Devendraji, by tomorrow, I know is going to sit with a chart of all the 4 suits. He's going to match up with everything. Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Ace of this. Sir, you said this is the element, this is the meaning. I am going to attach and I'm going to understand, because I know he's a restless soul. He will do that. Okay. Bonus. A lot of cards have a symbol of the wings. Wings are the representatives of angels. Estella? All angels have wings. The Lover's card has wings. The Chariot has wings. The Wheel of Fortune has wings. The Temperance has wings. Judgment has wings. Devil has wings. What is the meaning of wings? Is protection, affection, hope, and happiness. Whenever this thing comes, you are supposed to give the client positivity and encouragement. With this, the torture for the day, the theory for the day comes to an end, and my very tired and sad students can take a break till tomorrow, and we will be back with a new class tomorrow, and we will start reading from
It
tomorrow.
was very informative, Chayan. It was really a good revision and very informative.
Okay, let me just pause the recording and we will talk for a while before we end today.